In this video, I'm going to teach you 10 of my favorite park tips. One tip that I use to completely revolutionize my frontside 360s, and that is picking a point in front of you and rotating a frontside 360 on snow while tracking it. What you're doing here is you're using the snow to imitate the knuckle of the jump and training your body to rotate through it, finishing in that blind landing. So what we want to do for this is have our spot point out in front of us, pop up, rotate through it, and come in. When we go off the jump, we want to go pop, rotate through, keeping my eyes on that point the whole way, and that's going to give me the control. And that's how you do a perfect front free, is setting your eyes on that point and letting your body rotate around it, finishing with that uphill spot. The best thing you can do to make jumping more simple is finding your drop-in point. Here, I have a point that I know if I drop in straight from here and go straight, I'm going to hit the sweet spot of the jump. By going and dropping in from this drop-in point, it lets me completely focus on the feature itself instead of trying to focus on my speed. This lets me go and pop up and get max control, max power, without need to worry about speed. See how I just came into the sweet spot? If you're finding jumps scary, if you're feeling uncontrolled with speed, find a drop-in point, a point where you can go and drop from and go dead straight from, because that's going to let you narrow in your focus, and narrowing your focus will make you a better rider. People often say you want to keep your eyes at the end of a rail, but this isn't true, because if I keep my eyes at the end of a rail, I end up landing looking down. This is why we want to keep our eyes up in front of us, continuing to be pointed downhill. So sure, your spot goes and starts at the end of a rail, but as you travel past it, your vision continues going downhill, just like you're riding. So you start with your vision at the end of a rail, but it continues through. And this is going to let you see the landing, be completely in control, and that's going to let you have so much more power and finesse exiting any rail feature. When spinning a frontside 360, it's really important to wait to grab. If you try to grab too soon, it's going to cut your motion short and cut short your rotation. So that's why we want to pop all the way up, then grab, and that gives us the control that lets us utilize the constant spot to really rock in those front frees and lace them with super good style and super good consistency. Despite what you might have heard, you actually don't want to go on ollie onto rails. This is because it gives you way too much height and way too much impact. Well, an ollie's great for getting height, getting control and style. On rails, we're trying to just go and get as little extra height as possible, so we have as little in height. And to do this, we go and keep tail pressure and just try to use something called a pop. The pop goes and gets you up and over the rail with as little impact as possible. So whenever you're hitting a rail, go and make sure you're not ollieing and you're getting onto that rail with as little extra height, because that's going to make it so your impact's minimal, letting you go and lock into a rail much easier with way lower chance of kicking out and getting hurt. Boxes are smooth, non-grippy surfaces, so when you do a 50-50 on them, it's really hard to be in control and balance. That's why we want to ride the metal part of the box, and this lets us go and grip on and use all the mechanics we use on a rail. So catching the rail, dispersing that sideways momentum, letting us get that balance that makes it way easier to lock in and feel in control. So if you're riding a box and you're feeling out of control, I highly recommend trying to ride the metal part of it, because it makes it feel way nicer, lets you grip, and lets you go and get that rail feeling with all the safety net of actually having the box there. Every time you do a backside 360, it's really important to take your back arm and have it pulling and leading your rotation. This is how you're going to continue your spinning momentum and get the max control and power, and then eventually hit grabs. Every time you do a backside 360, make sure this arm is leading the rotation and you're pulling with your shoulder, because that's going to continue your spin, continue momentum, making it much easier to get the 360 around with less power than if you go and try to keep your arm aligned with your body. When riding rails, you want to have as few movements as possible. So if I'm coming to a rail, stack, low down, when I'm trying to go and pop up into a different position, it's going to throw me out of whack. So I want to try go and maintain the most constant rail, as little extra movement in positions as possible, and this will let me go and just feel in control. So for here, just keeping straight, a little bit of a down rail like this, I'm setting a little bit of an angle, nice position, coasting off, and trying to do as little extra movement as possible. Snowboarding is all about minimizing your movements. The more you go and minimize the movement coming into a feature, the less you'll need to do, letting you go and focus on those fundamentals and get control, and it's going to greatly increase your rail potential on every feature. Who doesn't like a good shifty on their snowboard? The big problem is a lot of people pop up and try to shifty all at once by preemptively opening their upper body. When you go and try to open your body and shifty all at once, it's going to make it really hard to control your spin. That's why to shifty, you want to come up, pop up, then shifty, then pull it back. By fully popping up, it'll give you full control, and that'll let you go and hit the shifty after without compromising yourself. When riding the park, you always want to keep your arms below your head. If you go and let your arms come up over your head, it's going to elongate you and make it really hard to control. This is true for jumps and rails. If I come into the rail and I'm letting my arms come up here, it's going to really throw off my center of balance, and it's not going to look very good. That's why every single time we're riding the park, doing a trick, we're trying to make sure that our shoulders aren't going up to our ears. We're keeping them down, aligned together, not letting them get past this point, because that's going to let us pull in power, keep our core tight, and keep engaged, just giving you much better style and much better control on every trick and every jump.